roamed the campus grounds so much that they may as well have been enrolled. I'm talking, of course, about the crows at my college when I was enrolled. Every single morning and afternoon they were in the largest field, and they were fascinating to me. I had really had time making friends in college, as I always had trouble with, and decided one morning that I wanted to drop out because I was so unhappy. But I knew my father would be so upset at me, and then it happened. The crows adopted me. Hey, I'm Mavis Salmon, I'm autistic, I love birds, and I hate my dead father. This is a podcast about that.
I've been working so much lately when I'm home I feel like a stranger in a foreign country where I can't speak the language of unemployment, minor crimes and plans to get the hell out. I'm gonna fuck the police in my town, in a beautiful broken down house. Wa-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. The last couple of weeks I know you've been having trouble breathing and maybe truthfully trouble with most things, but don't you worry if the pipes freeze and the power goes out. But it's big friends who are cold in the dark for a beautiful broken down house. Da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da.
I struggled throughout school. All of it. Starting from kindergarten to college. I had trouble with lots of subjects and, of course, the social aspects of it. I mean, I tried to find friends and such, but I'm just not the kind of person who can easily approach other people and make small talk. I find it monotonous, and for someone who loves repetition, I realize the irony in that statement. Either way, for one of my classes I had to walk all the way across campus, which meant passing under this selection of trees upon which a murder of crows had taken to calling their territory. Crows are pretty interesting birds, because they recognize people by their faces, you know? They can tell if someone is an enemy or a friend by their face, and they'll call out people who they perceive as dangerous to other crows. It's a neat system of community they've created. One of the things I've always dealt with is not emoting. I'm pretty straight-faced. It's a symptom of my autism. Some autistic people, a lot even, mirror others' facial expressions and whatnot, but I don't do that. Because of this, the crows didn't perceive me as a friend or a foe. In fact, they seemed to perceive me as another crow. I started to take to sitting on the benches under their trees during lunch and feeding them. The crows were extremely friendly to me, and sometimes would bring me things they'd find, shiny objects, you know. For someone who'd never been able to make friends with her own species, the fact that I suddenly could make friends with another species was so unreal that I didn't know how to feel except ecstatic. Crows don't care that I was different. In fact, it was the fact that I wasn't like everybody else that led them to adopting me as one of their own. Eventually, the crows learned which dorm I was living in, and they started coming to my window, bringing me more gifts, or just sitting outside of it, almost like they were protecting me. It was fine. I liked having them around, and they kept me company while I studied or just hung out in my dorm room alone. Eventually, I had to leave college because of my father, and that meant leaving my crow family behind. When I eventually returned after he died to see about re-enrolling, the crow trees had been cut down, and when I asked why, it was because they'd left soon after I had. I turned my back on a family that accepted me to go to a family that had never accepted me, and now both were gone, and all I ever wanted was... I'm sorry, just hang on. Okay. Yeah, I just always wanted to be loved, and the crows had loved me in ways my father never did, and I just left them because I was told not going home was irresponsible and cruel. Now I have nobody. I mean, that's not entirely true. I sit outside and I see birds, but no bird has ever come close to loving me the way those crows did. Society puts so much pressure on us to love and accept our parents simply because they gave birth to us, despite however they treated us, that if you say anything remotely disrespectful about them, you're considered cruel. The ironic thing is that my father, a human being of 50-something years, could never show a single moment of compassion or interest in his own child, and yet an entire murder of crows could. If some fucking birds are considered more human than you are, perhaps you need to reconsider what kind of human being you are. And that's all I have to say about that. So that's this week's episode. Come back next week when I discuss mockingbirds and my mother. Until then, I'm Mavis Salmon, and remember, birds of a feather analyze trauma together.
Some friends and I were talking in the front room of my old house. Inoffensive interactions, waning interest headed south. When a white-crowned sparrow found the feeder by the window. I've seen rarer birds since then, but the sparrow's still around. Still around, still around. I pace